morning. Welcome back to Live at 9. It's Wellness Wednesday, and with the school year getting closer, many parents might be wondering how they can help their child succeed in school this year. Joining us today is Dr. Quinn with advice on how to set them up for success. Good morning, Dr. Quinn.
Good morning.
So why would a kid be having difficulties at school, especially with starting up a new school year?
Well, there's so many reasons that we encounter as medical doctors as we interview our children as they come in for their physicals. Case point, yesterday, a child came in for a physical at the end of the day, and I shared this on my social media feed. The child was very upset that he had to go back to school, and the parents, they were concerned because the child said, quote, "They call me stupid." And I went in the computer and looked back and noted that we had referred him to get evaluated for what we determined to be ADHD, and the parents, they said they forgot to take him. And the problem was he was making terrible grades. Everybody was laughing at him, and the other students were calling him dumb. And I'm very upset about what he told me about the teacher. He said that the teacher even called him dumb and lazy, and I could tell that his self-esteem was affected. And whatever that child is going to be in the future, unless something changes, he's not going to reach his potential that he deserves. But
Absolutely.
a lot of it is in the head. Like, we want our children to be pumped up, feeling confident, not low self-esteem created by other people's opinions of medical conditions that are undiagnosed and untreated. And that's why this section is so important.
Of course, Dr. Quinn. I mean, it really does take a village, and it takes those parents, those teachers, and support system to get those kids where they need to be, especially if they may need a little extra help and assistance. But what can parents do to help those students and their kids?
Make sure they take them before school starts, if they have not already done so, to be evaluated. There's some children that might need glasses, or maybe they can't hear as well, or maybe they have dyslexia, which can be treated, with the glasses, the hearing aids, and specialized treatment. In the school system, they have programs for people with dyslexia where they teach the children on a different level. Maybe there are other things like chronic medical conditions like asthma or diabetes, which are undiagnosed, and the child sits in class and he just feels bad. And it's hard to pay attention when you don't feel well. And then that child performs poorly on one test, and then he might perform poorly on the next test. And then he starts to get labeled. His self-esteem, like the first child we talked about, goes down. And that child is just having a bad time in school, and he might turn to the wrong crowd, and it just goes on and on. But taking your child to the doctor and getting them evaluated to make sure that he's physically and mentally able to do well in school is so important.
Absolutely. Dr. Quinn, would you suggest that parents reach out during their own time or in physical with their kids as well, talking about it with them present, or maybe without them there, just with the provider?
Well, it depends on the age of the child and the competence of the child. Some things, like, I'll even ask the child, do you want your parents to leave? Because if it's something that's dealing with relations or something they feel more comfortable just talking to me, there are laws called emancipation laws. Once they hit a certain age, I don't want to quote that age, it varies from state to state. I want to say in Mississippi it's like maybe 14 or 15, where the child can tell me something and I can't go back and tell the parents. Because the reason for this law is they want the children to feel comfortable to let me know so I can help. And what happened was, before the law, a child was pregnant and she didn't even tell the doctor that she hadn't had a period, and the baby had a lot of problems with the pregnancy because it wasn't medically treated early on.
Right.
But she was afraid of the judgment of her parents. And the reason for this law is they want the children to feel comfortable and let us know what's going on so we can help them. And we we don't tell the parents, and a lot of parents get upset, but we explain why. And once we explain, most parents understand.
Absolutely. I mean, it's all to do what's best for the student, for the kids, because truly, I mean, if the parent loves their kids, they'll just want what is best for them. But back to that first scenario, how can labels hurt children and their futures, and why should this be something that parents are thinking about right now?
Well, here's the deal. I've done a lot of research on this over the years, and when a person feels that, especially a child, feels that they're incapable of accomplishing something, they'll be less likely to even try. But if they feel like they can do it, they'll study 3 times as hard. And if they have a medical problem that's being treated, they'll be able to pay attention and study even harder. And if the parents get involved and they're aware of what's going on, now, like you say, you have the whole village, the
Right.
parents and the child working together and working with the teacher.